If you're just about to sign that record deal, you might want to watch this video. I have 6 do's and don'ts about signing record deals with labels. And this video is something that you definitely need to check out. Here it goes. So first thing you want to make sure is that the label actually cares about what you're doing, that the label is actually on the same page as you as the artist, and you could check their track record, see which artists were signed with them previously, see what artists have been successful with their label, see what they provide the artists. Yeah, because once you sign with the label, pretty much you're creating a contract with that label, and you're now responsible. Your responsible act is to fulfill whatever you agreed upon on the contract. So the best thing that you can do in your best interest is to ensure that the label has your best interests at heart, so that they're not gonna, for lack of a better word, screw you over when it comes to making your music and selling it. So pretty much as an artist, one deal that you can make with the label that you're about to sign to is to ensure that you keep all rights, or you keep a certain amount of rights to your music that you upload or that you make with them. You don't want to create music and then give the record label full rights to all of your music. When they have full rights, they can do whatever they want with it, and technically they wouldn't need you anymore, especially if your sound is getting old and they no longer have to work with you because they have all rights to your music. So they could do whatever they want with it, bring it back to life maybe a little bit further down the line, a few years later, or they could just get rid of it altogether. This is a very important one. Always look into how much the label is able to recoup. So in most deals that record labels give to certain artists, or most upcoming artists, is that if they give you $100,000 up front, or they put that into you making your music and recording your music, realize that you won't receive any payment for anything else until that record label has earned 100,000 plus of money in revenue based off of your music. So for instance, if they gave you $100,000 upfront, a payout, whatever, upfront cost, whatever you want to call it, sync cost, whatever it is, and your album, it took them 100,000, pretty much they considered that as the investment in you, in your music, and your music only sold 90,000, then you're not going to see any money, extra money from the record label for that music. You can say, all right, yeah, I got 100,000 from it, but in reality, you kind of owe the record label that money because you didn't get that back. They didn't get that back in sales. You could check this out if you want. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that, but you could do your own research on that, on how much the record label can recoup. Biggest thing that probably takes a lot of humility is, ask for help. Get a lawyer, get a music lawyer that could help you out and make sure they look over all the contracts for you and help you make the right decisions. If you can do that, then a lot of these answers will be answered for you, or you'll see what exactly the label is trying to do. Don't get locked into a long-term contract. The reason why you shouldn't get locked into a long-term contract is because maybe after a period of time, you might get unhappy with this record label. You might not want to work with them anymore. Also, another reason would be that sometimes if they are slow with producing your music or doing the final touches or releasing your music, you would be locked into that contract. If it's a 2-album deal, or a 3-album deal, whatever it is, or let's put it as years, if it's a 5-year contract and they have projects that are just sitting there, and I can't say 5 years. If it's a 2-album deal and they're just sitting on tracks and they're not releasing it for you, you cannot leave because you're stuck. You're forced to sit there and wait until they are fulfilling their side of the contract. And don't sign a 360 deal. Now, what a 360 deal is that everything that you do, the label gets a cut. This means that if you perform, if you have a concert, if you go on tour, if you do, if you record tracks, even, by yourself, whatever it is, everything that you do, the label gets a cut. The label would always want to keep you around because of this, but realize that the label can now become lax. They could stay to themselves and not help you out as much because you're doing all the work yourself, or you have a team that you're working with that's doing everything yourself, and the label just receiving cuts because you agreed to do that. And don't be afraid to turn down record label offers. I mean, these record labels give you the stupidest offers you would ever see, and a lot of upcoming artists see these, get offered these things, and they think it's like the golden ticket to the future or some nonsense like that, but it's not. The reality is that a lot of these record labels look for the artists who don't know what's going on, and that they're new and they're passionate and they're ready to make music and blow up, quote unquote, but they're really ignorant on how the business works. And that's not a bad thing in the sense that they're now starting up, so they don't know, so they need to learn. But record labels exploit that fact and abuse those artists. Hey, I see you wanted to check out these videos over here. But before you do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I really need you to subscribe so you'll be updated on the new videos that I put out. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also check out that video right there.